In this chapter, we will be concentrating on the concept of inertia in motion, which is referred to as momentum. So let's spend a minute and review the idea of inertia. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion unless a force is applied to it. Now, this depends on the mass of the object. The more mass an object has, the more inertia it has. Now let's talk about momentum. Momentum is considered inertia of moving objects. And it's controlled by two things. Momentum is controlled by the mass of the object, and it's also controlled by the velocity of an object. The more mass an object has, the more momentum it possesses, and the faster the velocity of the object, the more momentum the object possesses. So if we think about this, it's harder to stop a large truck than a small car when they're moving at the same speed. And also, it's harder to stop a faster moving car than a slower moving car of the same mass. So that brings us to our equation for momentum. And the equation for momentum is P equals m times v. So let's put a key for our equation. Our lowercase p is the symbol we're going to use to stand for momentum. And the units for momentum are kilogram meter per second. M is going to stand for the mass of our object, and our units will be in kilograms. And V will stand for velocity, and the units for velocity are meters per second. Now from this equation, we can see that a moving object can have a large momentum if it has a large mass, or if it has a high velocity, or if it has both. A moving truck has more momentum than a car at the same speed because it has more mass. But a fast car can have more momentum than a slow car because it has a higher velocity. And consider an object that's at rest. An object at rest has a velocity of 0, so it wouldn't have any momentum at all. So let's look at one example. What is the momentum of a 5 kilogram object that is traveling at 25 meters per second? So we're going to use the same steps that we've used to solve other problems. First, we'll list our givens. We're trying to find momentum, so P is what we're trying to find. The mass of our object is 5.0 kilograms, and the velocity of the object is 25 meters per second. Now we'll write down our equation for momentum. So momentum equals our velocity times our mass. We'll plug in our variables. So for mass, we'll plug in 5.0 kilograms. For velocity, we'll plug in 25 meters per second. So to find our momentum, we're going to take 5 kilograms times 25 meters per second, and that's going to give us a momentum of 125 kilogram meter per second. Now we could also use this equation to solve for mass if we were given momentum and velocity. And we could also solve for velocity if we were given momentum and mass.